Hey everybody, Kyleisreal here today. Been a very long time actually since I've made something like this. Anyway, I was having fun playing Stadium the last couple weeks, off and on, here and there, and I think I've come across a really good build and strategy that has served me quite well in Stadium. We've reached a pretty high rank just playing this, and I just don't, and I like play it like twice a week maybe for like a couple hours. So it's been working really well. I have like a 68 win rate, so I figured I would share with you guys it today. So first things first, you want to get Silent as the Grave, which helps not only your footsteps but your shadow step and making it extremely quiet. Then, once you get Silent as the Grave as your power, you want to get Armored Vest. And then lastly, you want to get Adrenaline Shot, which helps not only your move speed, but also helps you have slightly more HP. This is extremely useful. Here's some gameplay footage on why you want to get Adrenaline Shot in Reaper's kit. Normally, the soldier would outwin this duel because of range, but because I have Adrenaline Boost, I can close the gap extremely fast, and he won't have much of an answer. I should also mention that this is really good when spawn camping someone when your teammates are down one. That way you don't have to jump into a losing battle. You can actually get ult charge without risking dying. And lastly, it also gives your team to regroup and the enemy team can look at you as long as you don't die. Here's another example of why you want to get Silent as the Grave as your first power as Reaper, because right when the team fight broke out, you're able to teleport behind the enemy team without them hearing you whatsoever, and you're able to swing the team fight. Now that the first round is over, and if you can afford it, I recommend getting 100 health into shields, because shields come back faster than health. And if you can afford it, your next option is the Talon modification, which buffs your damage by 15 for 6,000 points. And then last but not least, if you have enough cash, be sure to get the extra ammo. And let's say you don't have very much at all, I definitely recommend go for damage. Raw damage is extremely important on Reaper because it allows you to one-shot squishies when you close the gap. Here's an example on why you would want to do damage really badly on Reaper. And if you can afford it, the extra ammo. The shields are great, but if you really don't have much cash at all, definitely go for the damage and the extra ammo for round 2. Now that we're into round 3, I definitely recommend you get Spirited to Slay. Limbs reset your cooldowns. This is extremely good, and I mean, why would you not want this? Now that we're into round 3, I definitely recommend you get Codebreaker, which buffs your damage by 15 and ignores 50% of armor's damage reduction. This is very, very good for the character. And let's say you can't afford booster jets, just go for the raw damage output with the armor reduction in the previous segment. And let's say you're completely low on money, definitely just get the Talon Armor Piercer and then get the damage buff with Ignore Armor and keep the extra ammo, which is one of the greens, and yeah. Notice how the enemy team has no idea when I go behind him right here. Here's an example of why it's really good to get Silent as the Grave and all that extra damage. And yet again, a prime example of why Silent as the Grave is so good and how I really recommend you get that. And here's a little cheeky little outplay I had on the enemy team. And here's another example of why you want to up your damage early on as Reaper. I should die here, but because I have that ability I purchased earlier, is why I was able to speed up really fast and get the kills here, even when I was critically low health. Technically, I got kind of lucky, but hey, you know, you miss every play you don't make. Am I right? hopefully by now you have some decent chump change. I definitely recommend you guys go after Eye of the Spider as your final damage upgrade. Let's say you don't have a lot of money still, and you're still just kind of struggling to just make it by. Try to keep the armor piercing, or it cuts off 50%. Keep that, and then keep the Talon booster damage, and get booster jets. I figured it would be self-explanatory, but I figured I would mention the reason I get after firing pin here is because the faster the fire rate, the more damage output you're going to be doing when you get up close, which is extremely good. And the extra 5 movement speed is pretty decent, considering that Reaper is one of the slower DPS characters. And lastly, I sell the Adrenaline Rush because at this point, I probably don't need it anymore. Although, if you don't have a lot of money and you're still struggling to make it by, definitely keep it, because having that extra movement speed every time you go and grab a health pack can really help you in a 1v1 duel, because you just never know. But if you can afford it and you have a lot of money, you can sell it and get the after firing pin, because the extra 5 movement speed just helps you overall. So now that we have after firing pin, you can see why it's extremely good, because the extra fire rate and the extra 5 movement speed allows me to bypass the Ryan shield, whereas normally it'd be a little bit trickier to do that. Normally it isn't necessarily smart to Wraith cancel in front of a DPS, a soldier, or anyone, for example. Normally that's not the right play, but because I have Spirited Slay, where it resets my cooldowns, this is the right decision to play in this scenario. And that's why you would want to grab that. Here's an example of why you would want to do that, and a little cheeky little outplay you can have on Mercy players is generally you want to shoot them a little bit so they can fly, and then you want to quickly Wraith cancel to the direction that into the target they're going to fly to, and then you can spin her. Kind of a little cheeky, you know? Since my fat head is blocking the screen, you want to get Shattered Siphon, if I'm reading that right. It heals the nearest ally. And then next, you want to get Super Flexor. My fat head is also blocking it. So when you deal weapon damage or healing, gain 5% ability power for 3 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Here's an example of it being used in game so you can kind of see what it looks like. Here's an example of why you want to get Wretched Wings and why it's really good too, if you want to go for that option. And lastly, if you guys do make it to round 7, get Wraith Renewal as your final upgrade. I've had a lot of luck with that one as well. And the Batman build, again, it's super strong. It might actually be better than the other option, but again, it's all situational and depending on how your tank is. If your tank's fine and he's got it in the bag, and you're good, then go for the Batman build. But yeah, that should be it. That's basically what's got me as far as it has. And yeah, good luck. Kick some ass out there, guys. And thank you so much for making it this far in the video. And let me know if it helped you at all. And lastly, before I close this video out, I just want to say thank you all so much. And if you want to keep watching and want more from me, be sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys very soon. I'm just now getting over the flu, and hopefully I should sound better tomorrow. But yeah, I was pretty excited to make this video. I was long overdue. I haven't made a Reaper guide of any kind in a very long time. And yeah, it felt pretty good making something fun for the community. I hope this helps you guys a lot. If you want more tips and you want more, please let me know. And yeah, I think I'll try and make an actual ranked ladder Reaper guide in the near future. Depends how well this does. But yeah, thank you guys. Take care, and see you next time.